Hello, Aries. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your December 2022 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. I would like to remind you, Aries, that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. There will also be a timestamp in the description box below if you would like to bypass shuffling. Totally up to you. I don't mind either way, but if you want to utilize it, it's there. We're going to be looking at, Aries, what's being activated for you this month, how what's being activated is going to help you. We're also going to be looking at gaining some clarity and diving deeper in regards to those activations. Also looking at why this is important for your soul's journey and getting some guidance, advice, or encouragement moving forward. So let's jump right in, Aries, and see what's going on for you this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what's being activated for Aries this month, December 2022, please? What is being activated for Aries in December 2022? Yeah, okay. What's being activated for Aries in December 2022, please? Okay, thank you. How is what's being activated going to help Aries, please? Wow. Get that one, not those. Okay. Can we have some clarity on how this is going to help Aries, please? Clarity on how these activations are going to help Aries. Okay. Which way, please? Okay. How is what's being activated going to help Aries? Tell us more. Okay, thank you. How is, yep, okay, thank you. Why is this important for Aries' soul journey? Why is this important for Aries' soul journey, please? Okay, that was interesting. We will take them. Can we have some guidance, advice, or encouragement for Aries moving forward, please? Guidance, advice, or encouragement for Aries. Thank you. Are there more? Yes. Guidance, advice, or encouragement for Aries moving forward, please. Yep. Okay. Thank you. All right. Let me just kind of set these off to the side and let's jump in. Okay, Aries, for what's being activated for you for the month of December? Beautiful. We have I am presence, light body activation, accessing the divine within. So Aries, this is beautiful. Okay, so beautiful, because here's the thing. I feel like you're gaining a clearer connection to that divine source, right? Whether you call it universe, God, creator, whatever it may be, I feel like this connection is strengthening, right? It almost feels to me like you may be able to better hear spirit or feel God, feel your creator. I feel like you could be getting intuitive messages or prophetic messages, whether they be in dreams, meditative state, prayer state, when you're just minding your business. I feel like it really doesn't matter. I feel like there are things during the month of December that are coming through to better show you that connection, right? And if not, how do I word this? Like, if the connection's not already established, if you don't already feel like you have a strong connection with source, with God, whatever you want to call it. I feel like there could be things or situations that you are put into that help to create an opportunity for that. Okay. Um, because it feels to me like, even though you have light body activation here, I feel like December for you is really about this connection with the divine creator being activated to a deeper level, a stronger level, a more, what is the word? It's almost like that connection bears more weight to it than it did before, right? So before, you may have been like, oh yeah, I pray and like this and that, or like I go to church or something along those lines, but you may have not been able to really, really feel God like moving, working within you, within your life, right? And even if you did, I feel like it didn't really sink in. Like the gravity again, or the weight of that connection with God, I don't feel like it really sunk in. To be, I mean, that's really the best way I can put it. And I feel like through the month of December, that connection may become more apparent, may gain that weight, right? Like you may take the things that you experience when you pray, when you meditate, when you talk to God, like you may take that stuff much more seriously than you did in the past, right? It may have a lot more weight to it as we move through the month of December. And I think this is beautiful because I feel like God is essentially like calling you home, right? God is essentially asking for that connection to be established, to be important in your life, to be something that is no longer just there, kind of idle in the background, or, when it's convenient, if you will. But it feels more like it is something that's in the foreground, something that is important, something that you put as a priority in your life. Okay? That's fascinating to me. I also feel like for some of you, Aries, and I think this is really beautiful because Aries is that I am energy, right? And it's very what is the word? Like independent, very ambitious, very active and determined and brave and fearless, and you know I just, it's this deep sense of knowing self, right? And I feel like through the month of December, if you've been feeling previously, okay, so before December, if you've been feeling like you are unsure of who you are, I feel like you will be given the opportunity to discover that through the month of December, right? I feel like you will be given the opportunity to essentially stand in, I am this, I am this, right? So, just using my own personal experience, I am not an Aries, by the way, but it may look something like I am an intuitive, right? Feeling comfortable with that, feeling confident with what you're saying, believing what you're saying, standing in that truth, right? Declaring, this is who I am. I am a child of God, right? And these are just statements that are true for me, right? But I feel like for you, Aries, throughout the month of December, you may have opportunity to discover what those things are for you if you haven't previously, right? And really be able to stand in them. Because I feel like there may have been things that happened over the course of this year, okay? And maybe a little bit further, maybe it could be more like 18 months for some of you, I feel like. But at least over the course of this year, I feel like there could have been this questioning of self, right? Like struggling to find your place, struggling to unwrap who you are, struggling to come to terms with who you are, right? And again, I feel like for some of you, you have maybe experienced this connection with God but more on like a lighter scale, right? It didn't affect you as deeply, or maybe you thought some things to be true about yourself, but you didn't really stand in them firmly, right? I feel like there could have been a lot of fear or hesitancy around what you felt to be true about yourself. And for some of you, I feel like, you know, the month of December is like bringing that to the forefront, bringing that to the surface to say, hey, this is part of who you are. It's important and imperative for your journey that you step into this confidently, that you understand that this is part of who you are, that you no longer deny your truth. Okay. You also have here serious star blessings. Yes, proceed, be seen, push through. Like I was saying, Aries, right? You may have been already getting signs about this. You may have already been getting things that you, again, thought were true about yourself or were feeling like were true to you, but there was hesitancy there. Maybe you were unsure. Maybe you were questioning. Maybe somebody told you you couldn't. Maybe you were fearful of what others might say, think, or do. Right? Maybe you were afraid of rejection. Maybe you were afraid of ridicule, right? Those sorts of things. But I feel like God is stepping forward to essentially say, be seen, right? Like these gifts that you have are unique and important and valuable for the planet, for your journey. Use them, right? Even if it's just something that you acknowledge to yourself, like, oh, I feel like when I talk to God, he answers me. I'm not saying you have to like shout that from the top of the Eiffel Tower or, you know, the top of the world, if you will. But, you know, even just admitting the truth to yourself helps you to trust yourself more, helps you to, what is the word? Like honor who you are more, which helps you to sink into who you are. Right? Like you know, you don't feel like you want to deny, excuse me, who you are, right? And feel like you have to hide, and maybe to some extent you may still feel that way because maybe you won't yet be comfortable with sharing these things with, you know, more than yourself. But it's like, if you can't even admit your truth to yourself, right? Like you start off dishonoring you, which means you start off not trusting you, which means you can't fully love you, right? Because you need trust in order for love to be established. And so I feel like there's this element coming through, right? What's being activated within you this month, that push for you to come out, to come out. Like I'm actually hearing it from like the movie Home, like, can I come into the out now? That might be important for somebody, right? Like I don't, that might be like someone's favorite movie or something, I don't know. Maybe you say that line a lot or something like it, but I feel like you've been hiding. And you could have been hiding simply because you didn't know who you were, or you were too afraid to admit who you are, or you weren't allowing yourself to be fully who you are. Whatever it looks like. Like, I just feel like God is like, hey, I need you in this space of being who you are fully. I need you to be seen. I need you to have courage. I need you to push through. I need you to keep going, right? Because you have something to share with the world. And I feel like this is why the Serious Star Blessings card is here, because it's like, the, right, again, I am fill in the blank. It's like, yes, push through, allow yourself to be seen, even if you're afraid, even if you're worried about being ridiculed, even if you've never done this before, even if it's super fucking unknown to you. Like, keep going, push through the fears, allow yourself to be seen, right? Guys, I am like, I've been playing with a new camera angle and I don't quite have it down yet, so I hope this isn't all crazy wonky like it looks to me. Let's see what else we have here. Stargate, heart chakra opening, unlocking, and generosity. Yeah, I mean, this is literally about you being vulnerable, Aries. Like, this is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what I feel from my heart space, from who I am, right? There's this element here of allowing yourself to be, again, be seen in all your glory, having that heart space open, being vulnerable, showing who you are, shining that light, allowing yourself to heal from things where you felt caged, where you felt hidden, where you felt suppressed, where you felt like you weren't fulfilling your purpose, where you felt like there was more you should be doing, right? I feel like this is being activated within you to really fucking crack you open, Aries, for some of you, right? And I mean, here's the thing, like, there, how do I word this? Like, it feels to me like, yeah, thank you. There's like this alarm bell going off, right? Where you're being asked to unlock everything that you are and share it with the world. Like, no hesitations, no restrictions. Like, this is who I am, and I'm not going to apologize for it, right? I'm not going to block this, right? I'm not going to close down. Like, I'm going to share who I am with the world. And that is how I'm seeing this, right? I'm going to share every bit of who I am. And I feel like this is what's being activated within you. Again, it feels to me like, this month is meant to crack you the fuck open, for you to really step into who you're supposed to be very assertively, very brave, very much like that Aries energy is. It's about, again, like being brave and direct and fearless and stepping into that side of yourself. It feels to me like divine creator, God, source, universe, whatever you would like to refer to it as, the divine, right, is essentially pushing you to embrace and embody all of those positive attributes that you have to offer as an Aries, right? Being brave, being fearless, being very direct, being that kind of natural leader, being independent, being very enthusiastic and outgoing and energetic and pioneering and like paving the way, right? Like, this is who I am. I'm just gonna wear all the things there out on my, like, out, wear my heart on my sleeve, right? Type of thing. Like, just being very, this is me on a platter, right? I feel like there's this element of you leading the way from that space. And I feel like you're being given that opportunity this month. So, how is what's being activated going to help you, Aries? Empathy. You feel and understand the emotions of another in the service of love. I mean, here's the thing, right? I feel like there's an element of Aries energy, right? Which is related to the Emperor card in the tarot, where you can be a bit chaotic, a bit, what is the word? Kind of like scattered or angry, maybe a bit demanding, right? And I feel like the position you're being put in to be cracked open and to have to fucking experience the things, right? Being pushed to, again, embody the more positive attributes that is in Aries. I feel like being put in that position to be seen, like fully be seen, without your guard, without your I've got it all figured out tough guy fucking persona, right? Like, I feel like it's putting you in a position to feel empathy from that standpoint. Like, oh, I know what it's like to, have to step out into this light, as it were, to share all the bits of yourself, to be transparent, to be seen, to really unlock every bit of who you are, and to stand in that, and to be brave and courageous and fearless, and to embody all of these things that you are fully, right? I feel like it is essentially allowing you to experience a new level of empathy, because it's like, oh, I've had to do this now, right? Like I've actually had to experience this myself. For some of you, you may be unlocking this portion of you that allows you to feel, like literally feel other people's emotions and feelings, right? So that you can genuinely experience the like empathy, and it's like you actually feel it, right? I hope that I know I kind of like trailed off a little bit there. I hope that makes sense. But I feel like this is going, what's being activated here is going to help you to better see, like, it's difficult for people to be able to open up. It's difficult for people to be able to, pardon me, release their fears, to step into the light, to be broken open, to be transparent, to share the things, to not put on a tough guy face, right? So I feel like it's triggering this empathy within you. It's allowing you to experience, what it's like to really be cracked open, because I feel like for some of you there's been this energy of like being fearless, right? Like I'm brave, but in all reality like you're not. Right? Like I'm trying to say this in the most like delicate way that I know how. But it's essentially like, oh, I've got the things figured out, right? And like um kind of being pushy for others to like be cracked open, but not allowing yourself to be cracked open. It's really fucking fascinating to me, because I feel like there's an element of like, oh, everybody's always judging me, everybody's always competing with me, everybody's always trying to like get a leg up, is kind of how I'm seeing it, right? That kind of Mars aggressive type of energy. But I feel like there's again like this element of like, but you actually haven't been being really open. Like you've been being pushy for other people to be this way, but you haven't been fully, or rather you haven't fully stepped into that yourself, right? So it's interesting to me. I don't know if everyone will resonate with that, but we also have here humility, right? So what else is being activated, or rather, how is what's being activated going to help you further? What's another way? Humility. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same but on different paths. So again, very similar energy showing up. Like I feel like this is putting you in a position for you to be essentially stark ass fucking naked in front of everybody, because it feels to me like you've wanted to, it's almost like you wanted everybody else to show their hand, and you claim you're showing your hand, but you're keeping like one or two cards to yourself. Does that make sense? Right, like it's almost like this, like, oh, I am showing you my hand, but like we know there's another layer underneath there, right? Like that's kind of how I'm seeing this. I feel like you haven't been fully like stark ass, this is who I am. Like I really don't. Um and I feel like what's being activated here this month, and pushing you to again be like out there, be vulnerable as shit, stepping into who you are fully from various different levels. I feel like this is essentially again bringing you more into that, oh wow, I get what it feels like now, right? Like I'm not going to demand or push you, or be aggressive and wanting you to do this, right? Because I now understand how much bravery and courage and fearlessness and strength it takes to really do that fully, right? It's really interesting to me. Sorry guys, I know that like the light creates this big glare on the cards. I apologize. Hopefully you can see that okay. Right? I just feel like there's a new level of understanding that you could have the opportunity to come to over the or throughout the month of December, right? And it's one that connects you more with other people. Like I'm going to say this very lovingly, I feel it pulls a bit back from the it's a me show, and puts you more into the it's a we show, right? Like there's something bigger here at play. Like, it's not just about me, right? So it may go against or feel very uncomfortable because that Aries energy is can be very self-centered, very focused on self, right? But I feel like it's pushing you out of this box so that you can really gain a better understanding of people and how you interact with them and how they interact with you, and what it really takes to just like lay all the things out, right? And this isn't just for your romantic relationships, by the way. As a matter of fact, your romantic relationships or familial relationships probably do get to see more layers of you. But this is about being transparent all the time, not just with people that feel close to or feel that readily accept you. Like, this is about being transparently you all the time, vulnerable. I don't mean like I've got a bad temper, I'm just gonna fucking spout shit and fire at people. Right? Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Not that aggressive side, right? But the more, again, transparent, this is my heart, having that open for everyone to see. You This is fucking fascinating. You have here as well respect. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love, which is fascinating, right? Because again, how is this going to help you? It's going to help you to understand people from a different fucking perspective. Right? Because there's also there's, how do I word this? It's like there's this element of expectation, right? Again, like demanding type of energy, very emperor type of energy, Aries, where it's like I feel like you should be this way, or you should have this um stance, or you should be able to understand this, or this, that, and the other. And it's like, no, you experiencing these things this month is going to help you to see things from a very different fucking perspective. And I want to lovingly say it has nothing to do with that perspective being from your own point of view, right? I feel like experiencing these things throughout the month and being activated in the way that you may be activated, Aries, could very well force you, in a sense, to see things from another's perspective in a way that you may have never fucking anticipated or would even imagine, right? And I feel like it's going to open your eyes significantly. So let's get some clarity on this even further, right? Like, how is what's being activated going to help you? Let's dive deeper into that. So we have illusionary success with the Seven of Cups here. And what's fascinating about this is it's like, I feel like, and I say this with so much love, it's happened to many of us, right? I feel like you've given this appearance that you have shit figured out, that you have you figured out. And I want to lovingly say that based on what is coming through here, I don't think you do. Or I don't think you have. Maybe you will throughout the month of December. Maybe this is something you've been working on leading up to December. But I really feel like you've had this, for lack of better terms, like this illusionary point of view on what it means to really know thyself. Right? And I feel like part of the reason why you maybe haven't been able to really get a lock on yourself, if you will, or to really be able to understand yourself is like, I feel like some of the things, instead of feeling some of the things that you should be feeling, it's almost this energy of, okay, I'm just going to immediately take that feeling of, let's say, sadness or vulnerability, and put it in, it's going to go to anger, because I don't want to feel vulnerable. I don't want to feel like stared at, the center of attention. Like, I don't want to, like, that's how I'm seeing it. Like, I don't want to feel put on the spot. I don't want to feel vulnerable. So instead of expressing that sadness or expressing what I truly feel, I'm just going to get angry instead. Right? So it's this energy of like, I think, or I've got it all figured out, but it's illusionary. That's not true. Right? It can appear that way, but when you really get down to feeling the things, that's not true. Okay, that's how I'm seeing this. So I feel like it's going to help you by showing you what this essentially illusion, like this, how do I word it? It's going to really point out the illusion to you, right? That you've got it all figured out. Because I feel like, again, God, source, the creator, whatever, is trying to put you into a position that you understand what it takes for other people to be transparent with you, for other people to feel the things and go through the things and to direct them in a healthy way, right? Take it as it resonates with you. Look at this. We also have here the 10 of Wands, which is, I mean, here on this card it says oppression, right? And this is that feeling of, interestingly, it feels to me like, how do I word this? There's a sense of feeling, or rather, like, how do I word this? Like taking responsibility for, how do I, like, yeah, taking responsibility for what you've ignored, what you've kind of, how I'm seeing this is like, so the 10 of Wands can be this energy of like burden and responsibility, right? And the way I'm seeing it, because on here it does say oppression, it feels to me like there's this element of not taking responsibility for what you truly feel. Really, like, and in the same sense, so not taking responsibility and essentially putting that burden of almost like ignoring the responsibility in your backpack of things that you're carrying around. I'm so sorry. It's like hard to translate this into English the way I'm feeling this energy, right? But it's like, I'm not, how do I word this? Like, I'm just going to put these things in my backpack and carry it around and carry it around and carry it around and let it weigh on me. Let it bring me down. Let it silence me, like my truth, right? Like, that's the way I'm seeing this. And I feel like it's because you haven't fully stepped into that energy and taken responsibility for, like, oh, this is who I am, right? And instead of seeing that transparency, if you will, as a burden, you see it as an accomplishment. You see it as a means to get closer to what you want to experience, what you would like to manifest into your reality, right? It feels to me like, again, there's this element of needing to take responsibility for yourself and what your own energy, right? So again, coming back a little bit, there's an element of how you impact the world around you, taking responsibility for your own energy. And sometimes it can be, again, a bit pushy, a bit, this is what I want, this is what I expect type of thing, and not allowing others to, have their moment, if you will. Sometimes we need time to fucking think shit out, to feel shit, to process. And it's like, it's like pushing for somebody to do that makes them uncomfortable. It ripples out into the world. And that's not to say that sometimes people don't need to be made uncomfortable, because they do. But this is more about you understanding what it feels like to be in that position and taking responsibility for that, feeling all your things and not just throwing it on your back and carrying it as a, as something, as like a burden, something that's weighing you down, something that's oppressing you, right? It's like not letting your light shine because you're too worried about the things. There's so much fucking energy coming through this card. It's unreal. I mean, this is a very very Sagittarian energy with this oppression card, right? And when I think of Sagittarius, it's very like optimistic and very honest, right? And it's like the truth of who you are is like being oppressed and being pushed down by the inability to take responsibility for yourself, the inability to experience what it is you need to be transparent and to allow others to be the same, right? Like at their own pace, at their own time. Again, it's like being fucking stark naked in front of everybody, like I've got this figured out. No, the fuck you don't. Taking responsibility for that, right? Allowing yourself to feel your own energy, allowing others to be in whatever energy they're going to be in, versus just throwing it on your back and pretending like it's not affecting you by not taking responsibility for it when truly it is, right? It's severely skewing what you see, your perspective, how you view the world. Look at this. What was I fucking saying? Here's the Emperor in reverse. Again, I feel like this is going to help you by getting you more in touch or moving you away. Okay, let me back up. Help you by moving you away from that more lower vibrational or negative Aries characteristics, right? Like being self-centered, being super assertive, being demanding, right? Being like bad-tempered and pushy, right? I feel like it's trying to move you away from those energies. I feel like it's going to help you by seeing or by allowing you to see those sides of yourself and to take responsibility for them. Right? I feel like it's going to help to show you again, like the burden of carrying those lower vibrational frequencies. Right? I feel like it's going to help you to see yourself more clearly and to see where you've been, maybe in not so, what is the word, pleasing energies. Okay? Look at this, you have here the Two of Pentacles, and this is harmonious change. Yeah, so it's going to help you by bringing this change, because I feel like it's going to show you where you've been seeing shit very skewed, where you haven't taken responsibility, where you've been piling burdens on because you haven't been living in your truth, where you've been pushy to other people or demanding to other people, where you haven't been active for yourself, right? And embracing those more positive Aries qualities, like being brave, like being fearless, like being that natural leader, right? Not being pushy, not being aggressive. And I feel like it's trying to bring balance back for you, but it is going to take you choosing, right? Because it's about balancing those decisions, it's about balancing your priorities, being able to adapt, being able to move through things, making choices confidently, right? And here's the thing, this is harmonious change. So this is what is trying to be, for lack of better terms, activated within your life, right? It's trying to show you these more negative or lower vibrational aspects of self so that you can bring balance to them, so you can bring balance to your own life, so you can take responsibility, so you can move out of these, again, these lower vibrational frequencies, this illusionary success, this I've got it all figured out, this very assertive, very demanding energy, right? Again, bringing that more harmonious balance by being empathetic, by being able to respect people, by showing humility to people around you, right? Understanding that you are the same but on different paths, right? Not being judgy, not being, again, demanding, right? I feel like there's a lot here for you, Aries, about letting people be versus demanding an answer, demanding a solution, demanding a remedy. Now, for some situations that may be called for, but I really feel like there's something here about allowing things from people, right? Or rather, allowing people to just be, and you needing to get comfortable with that. Finally, you have the Three of Swords here in the reverse. So the Three of Swords in the reverse is this energy of recovery, forgiveness, moving on, right? So again, bringing harmonious balance in. And I feel like the reason this is showing up is so that you can not, I feel like this is kind of like a double-edged sword in a way, because I feel like there's Forgiveness towards self. There's moving on for yourself, recovering for yourself, recovering different facets of yourself that you've pushed down in that backpack of burdens you've been carrying, right? Different facets of you that you've pushed down, ones that don't have to respond in like angry ways and demanding ways, right? Stuff like that. And I feel like there's an element here of, bringing this harmonious balance in, allowing you to see things again from a different perspective, which thus creates the opportunity for you to move forward from them. You may have felt that there maybe was a situation, and I'm just using this as a very broad example. This may not apply to anyone. But maybe there was a situation where you wanted somebody to explain something to you. You demanded an explanation, an answer, and they're like, I just don't have it for you right now. Like, I really need to be able to figure this shit out. And you were not understanding about that, right? You were like in this space of I need this answer right now, demanding an answer, being pushy, not allowing somebody to feel what they did. And maybe it had like shitty fucking consequences, right? And so this is, I feel like, an opportunity for you to see how being pushy and that sort of thing like creates this conflict, this tension, right? So I feel like it could be shown to you in a way where you are experiencing the need to like really be able to process some shit and then come out the other side understanding, oh, like I may have been super pushy about that. I may have been this way about that, right? And being able to see from that perspective, right? Looking at yourself with this, humility and with truth, being able to bring a harmonious change and move on by remedying that, by like, oh, I get it now. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So, why is this important for your soul's journey? So we have Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. It's important for your soul's journey so that you're able to find peace, so that you're able to experience the full, what is the word? Like, I'm actually seeing this as being able to experience all of life from the fucking top of your head to your toes. Like, really be engulfed, enveloped in all that life has to offer, right? And experiencing it from a place of peace, from harmony, from balance, not from anger or distrust or frustration or confusion or fear, but from a place of joy, right? When I think of heaven, I think of happiness, I think of truth, I think of light, I think of love, I think of peace and harmony and serenity, right? I think of laughter and fullness, feeling full, whole, complete, right? And so this is all happening. This is important for your soul's journey so that you can experience that heaven on earth. So you can experience all that life has to offer you from all of its beauty, all of its glory, and again, feel it all through your being, right? And so that, I feel, is why this is happening, right? Why it's important for your soul's journey. It's giving you the opportunity to experience life in a completely different fucking way if you let it. And that is the key. Wow, look at this. You cannot make this shit up, Aries. We have share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. So again, like I was saying before, this is about you being seen in all your truth, all your glory, even if you fear being ridiculed, even if you feel being being rejected, even if you fear persecution, if you are afraid no one will understand you, whatever it is, it's about just being who you are fearlessly. This is important for you because I feel like it's helping you to learn who you truly are. Without the trauma, without the wounding, without the programming, without the bullshit, without the lies, without the masks, without any of it. Just being. And being okay with sharing what that is. Now, this is not a first class pass to be an asshole. Okay? It's not. But it does mean that there is an element here asking, or there's a you're being asked to be transparent, to be expressive, to share your voice, whatever that looks like, to unlock various facets of yourself and to share that with the world. Open your heart up, open your mind up, open your being up to feeling life again from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And I do find it fascinating, Aries, that you have these first two cards out here, and both of them have water, which is really about feeling, right? Water is emotions, feelings, relationships, serenity, love, intuition, spirituality, right? It's about feeling the things. And I feel like this is what's going to bring you back into balance, because as an Aries, you are typically more leaned toward that masculine energy. And I feel like this is really about you bringing in that more feminine aspect where you're feeling all the things. Okay. Yeah. Be Why is this important for your soul's journey? Because you're birthing a new age, right? This is going to allow you to bring in a new way of being, to birth new creations, to again experience life from a completely different space than you have before. Immersing yourself in a new way of being. And it's important for your soul's journey if you want to experience things differently, right? Breaking free from the things that have held you back, which has, I want to say in large part, Aries, has been a fear of your own, right? I feel like your own fears have kept you from really stepping fully into the beautiful light that you are, it's kept you from people really experiencing you in all your glory, right? And I feel like this is about you essentially breaking free from that. And because you are not closed off to the world, because you're not tightened up to the world, you're experiencing the world in a much broader, much more expansive, much more fulfilling way, right? Because here's the thing, Aries, I feel like I need to say the walls that you build up between you and yourself, while you think that they're helpful for you, right? You also put these walls up to keep you, from living your truth, standing in your truth, experiencing your truth. And unfortunately, those same walls keep people out. So you may think, oh, I'm being open with people. But unless you are 100 with you, unless you can look at yourself, if you could stand in front of God, your creator, source, whatever you want to call it, if you could stand in front of it and say, I love myself unconditionally, would God, source, creator, whatever, believe you? Or would they be like, okay, sure you do, right? This is something that's coming up because it's this energy of, you build these walls to keep you from you, your truth from you, which also builds walls between you and other people. Take it as it resonates with you, right? If you're like, no way, not my story, fine. I'm just saying that's the energy that's coming through. And I felt like I needed to say that with you because you have this unlocking here, this heart opening, right? Like, look how far away the freaking like castle is from this doorway here. It's like, oh, I'm going to push people out. I'm not going to let people like, you know what I mean? And I don't even know if you realize that that's what you've been doing, which is why I felt called to say, if you build these walls between you and yourself, you dishonor your truth, you lie to yourself about what it is you feel, what you want, what you feel called to do, where you feel called to go, who you feel called to be, you also put up a wall between you and other people, like you and the external world, by trying not to see your own truth. Because what does that do? right? It prevents you from being vulnerable and open with those people because you're lying to you. You certainly can't be truthful to other people, because if you start doing that, you can no longer lie to yourself. And that's hard fucking work, Aries, to keep up that lie, to keep up that facade. It's hard work. So again, right, take it as it resonates. So guidance, advice, or encouragement for you moving forward, Aries. Holy shit, you can't make it up. You fucking can't. We have open your heart. Archangel Shamuel. Thank you, Shamuel, for removing the barriers around my heart. You have Stargate heart here, which is heart chakra opening, unlocking, generosity. And then you have open your heart with Archangel Shamuel showing up again. Basically, God saying, I said what I said. It's time to live that transparent heart life, Aries. It's time to be vulnerable. It's time to be intimate. It's time to feel all the fucking things. And to not be afraid of them. It's time to take down the barriers, right? This is your guidance, your advice moving forward. Open your heart, not just to others, but to you, because you can't truly open your heart to other people if you first don't do it to yourself. Okay? You also have, look at this, speak your truth, Archangel Gabriel. So again, being truthful with you, right? This is a beautiful way, I feel, to wrap up your reading, because it is essentially bringing in everything that I've said throughout the reading, right? Being able to speak your truth, being able to be honest with yourself and with other people, not being afraid of that, right? This is your guidance, your advice moving forward, your encouragement. Speak your truth. Open your heart. Bring down those barriers. Be honest. Stand in your integrity. And again, not just with other people, but with yourself. And as well as like strengthening that connection with yourself, with God, with other people, right? By being truthful, by having your heart open, by letting God touch you, by letting other people touch you and experience you. Right? And I don't mean touch you like physically, by the way, for those who are mistaken, right? I mean like for those to experience your soul and for them to leave a mark on your soul and vice versa. Okay? So this is beautiful, Aries. I mean, I feel like you are really being given this profound opportunity through the month of December to really just burst wide the fuck open and to really, honestly, like, be seen in the most beautiful of ways, right? But should you let yourself? That's the key here. It's all about allowing yourself to experience you and allowing others to experience you. I hope that something here has been valuable for you or has resonated with you in some way, shape, or form, Aries. If it has, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or subscribing. It really does help the channel to grow, and I am so truly grateful for you doing so. I want to send you the biggest of hugs. So much love. So much love. Please know that whatever you face this month, you absolutely 100% have got this, and God has got you. Have an incredibly expansive month. Take care of your beautiful, beautiful soul. And I hope to see you in 2023. Bye.